In today's video, we're going to discuss the state of the market. We had a massive sell-off on Friday, and we're gonna get you guys prepared for tomorrow. I'm also going to be sharing with y'all one stock that is about to make a big move. Alright, y'all, let's dive into the charts. Right off the bat, we got the NASDAQ futures. And the play right here, this structure is no more. All right. What the stock wasn't supposed to do actually occurred. It ended up opening higher on Friday, but out the gates it started to just sell off and sell off and sell off. And once it breached below 22,000, the whole trend kind of changed. All right, that level of support became resistance. Tomorrow we might see a little bit of bullish price action, but I don't know how long that's going to last. The chances of us actually retesting 21,900 are decent, but something to actually worry about is a rejection of that level and a continuation down. Like, so what I mean by this is what I mean. All right, something like that is something to be wary of. Okay, the futures are green right now. About like the SPY and the NASDAQ are only up by 0.40%. This is something to look out for. If we don't retest it, if we end up going nowhere, and let's say it just gives us another doji, and the candle stays like this small, then be prepared for a continuation down, all the way down to like 21,400. Okay, that's my thoughts on it. I say this because of what's going on with the VIX, and something very interesting happened with the VIX. Let's check that out. So this is the VIX, and the VIX looks like this. I saw this thing on Friday at like noon about how the VIX actually broke out of there and what the structure actually was on the VIX. This is a bullish pennant, all right, and it's quite clean. It would fail if it got back below 17. If it got back below 17, then the market is not gonna crash, and that was just a one-time dip opportunity on the overall markets. But with it looking like that, you really have to be prepared for you have to be prepared for a potential continuation down. Okay, so that's just my initial thoughts on it. Trade things day by day. Be very, very cautious. All right, trade things day by day and just keep your eyes on the VIX. Now, the stock for tomorrow, the stock that has a structure. It actually broke down on Friday at noon. That stock is MMM. All right, now I want to share with y'all this stock because number one is it had a massive move from like 70 all the way up to 150, and then on the 1 hour there is a bearish pennant that broke down right here. All right, and it broke it down below 147. And typically with this, we should see a continuation down. We should see a drop all the way down to at least 140. So keep MMM on your radar. I don't know exactly how fast it's going to drop. If we see a retest on the NASDAQ and the SPY, like this is possible also. All right, if we see that retest. If we don't see that retest, let's say we open up red, like I'm talking about the futures. If we open up red on the futures, then keep your eyes on MMM for a continuation down. The 4 hour looks good. There is a gap at the bottom on a daily at like 141 to keep in mind. So this is definitely something to watch for tomorrow. Now, let's discuss another stock which also has a gap at the bottom that could potentially get filled tomorrow if the indices are red, and that's on Google. All right, so Google looks like this, and it had earnings. It collapsed through earnings on the 4th or the 5th of February. And again, I told you before, typically with these nasty drops from earnings, the sell-off or the drop that follows could last at least a month, at most an entire quarter, like 3 whole months. And right now it's just selling off and selling off. It's been struggling to find any level of support to bounce off of. And Friday was the day that it broke below 183, right? So we had this level of support right here. It respected it all the way until Friday at 10 a.m. where it broke below it and closed at 180. There is a gap at 175, as you can see on the left. Now the question is, how fast is that gonna get filled? When is it gonna get filled? That's when you gotta look at intraday structures to find out exactly when the stock is ready to continue down. Again, because tomorrow we could get another doji. We could get a doji like this, and then the move down that I'm expecting for Google could happen on Tuesday or Wednesday. All right, but this is definitely something to keep on your radar for next week. Now let's answer some of you guys' questions. Somebody asked me to look at TMO in a comment section of our last video. Now I like this stock because it's over 500, and I like the fact that it moves in big ranges throughout. Like it gives big opportunities, big swings. From 500 to 600, there's a lot of money to be made in between. Obviously, this type of fraction is what we don't want to trade when shorts and longs are getting demolished, right? But this right here is looking... The trend on this one is still bearish. A move down to 500 will be better, a better entry, rather than trying to play in the middle. I don't like to play in the middle, right? The only thing that I really don't like about the stock is the spread on the contracts. Like if you look at the contracts, the spread is the spread is a lot. It's not like a $20 spread or a $10 spread. It's like a whole $140 spread on these contracts. That's the only reason why I don't trade this thing. Looking at it big picture, yeah, on the monthly chart, it's just going sideways between 500 and 600. Eventually, it's gonna try to make a move above, like it's gonna try to make its move up to 800, but it really has to make its decision. Like it really is, it's gonna have to make a decision. Set an alert right here. Long-term investors, I know you'll love this thing. It's been boring for about 3 or 4 years. When the market really picks up and we start moving forward, like that alert is gonna ring, and then we're gonna aim for new highs. Similarly to what I showed you guys with Starbucks yesterday, the trend, like big scale, is bullish. It's just that the stock is not ready. Now, the next stock that we're gonna look at is Microsoft. This is the stock that I shared with y'all in the last video. I thought it was gonna continue higher, and unfortunately, it didn't because of how, because of the aftermath of what happened with the Nasdaq. Like it opened up a little bit higher at 118, at 418, and then it just started to dump out the gates. I had Apple. I bought Apple because, again, Microsoft, Apple, both tech stocks. I was expecting both of them to run, but I had to get rid of Apple between, again, this is Friday. No, this is Thursday on the 20th, 5 minutes before the market closed. And then this is Friday. Like Apple opened up and then just started to chop out the gates. Showed me nasty price action, and I ended up getting rid of Apple completely at like 9 a.m. right here. Because it just wouldn't go. It just wouldn't go. I had to get rid of it right here. Alright. Eventually, yeah, it went. Some people kept holding onto it. Some people made money on it. All right, but if the stock doesn't show me what I want in the first hour, I'm gonna get rid of it. And I didn't look back at it until like this thing was already way up here, and I didn't feel like chasing this thing. So, where is it gonna go next? Where is Apple going to go? I'm not sure exactly. It hit a wall at 148. It hit a wall, so we'll see. Set an alert right at 249. right here, and just wait for it to ring. Eventually it's going to ring. I just don't know when. And right now the structure looks too sloppy for me to even take a trade on this thing. Similarly to Microsoft's, that one we gotta wait. I'm gonna bring that alert right up here, and we gotta look at new structure to form in order for us to know exactly when it's appropriate for us to get into this thing. The daily chart looks kind of nasty, but the gap right here at the top is still there, so it's worth keeping an eye on. It's definitely worth keeping an eye on. That's my honest thoughts on all of these stocks, and that is the end of the video. Do not forget to annihilate the like button as always. I make these videos from Sunday to Thursday at exactly 8 p.m. Central Time. So definitely click on that subscribe button and click on the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on future uploads. If you'd like to be part of a private Discord community where you can get all of this information in real time as I see them, you can find that as the first link in the description of the video below. Don't forget to follow my social media at Paul Nguma and at Patternology Lab on Instagram and on X. And lastly, yeah, if some free stocks with Webull, you can use the third link in the description of the video below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Patternology Lab, where we treat patterns and patterns only. And I will see all of you in the next video.